another reality that every business, regardless whether you're small, mid-size, or large size, has to deal with, because the courts don't care about your budgetary constraints when it comes to serious injury or death in a workplace environment. But there are things that small businesses, mid-sized businesses can do that are not going to be that costly. For example, your new employee orientation should focus in on expected behaviors, expected relationships, expected employee duties and responsibilities that collaborate to, depending upon the size of the organization, to do their part in mitigating risk, in conducting themselves in an expected manner, in reporting the observations, in not engaging in appropriate conduct, in understanding the people contribution to the workplace from an employee perspective to help in a less formal fashion while still introducing risk mitigation through new employee orientations and new employee dialogue.
And what about for the larger organizations that may have somebody dedicated to HR, maybe security, and maybe they do have some, at least on paper, policy about workplace violence prevention? How can they get more bang per buck and leverage the investment that they've made?
Through a very, very simple practice that creates more work for them. Ask the employee how they feel about their workplace safety and their workplace security. And therein will lie the explanation and the opportunity for them to exploit what the big boys and girls sitting behind their desk are assuming they have a handle on. Because by not asking the employee how they feel, by not asking the employee what has happened to them, by not asking the employee are there any contributions they can make, those in security are looking at it from a security standpoint. Those in HR are looking at it from the HR perspective. It's easy for me to deal with that problem because recidivist conduct, I handle that through progressive discipline and I fire them. And they have the zero tolerance policy that pretty much says, if this happens, I'm going to walk you up the progressive discipline ladder, and then I'm going to fire you. Well, that is not a solution to a potentially large problem, because what you do is you shut down employees. So a cost-effective approach that I recommend to my clients is create an environment where the employee feels good about sharing their observations. And that's where I come from in my project in New Jersey, where the employees felt trusting of their responses to questions, that somebody would do something with their answers rather than just putting it on a shelf somewhere or not doing anything at all. So it isn't all about technology, Hannah. It isn't about having these critically complicated policies, plans, and procedures. It's about creating a culture of responsible behavior so that the employees know their realities and help meet management's realities.